ahead on OC News, we have high hopes for the men's soccer team as they enter a crucial game tonight, with the goal being to finish the season with a spot in the Big West Conference. We will have a report from Titan Field.
And in the studio, we have a special guest to talk entertainment in SoCal. Do you love everything music, television, and film? You won't want to miss his tips on what to see and what to hear.
And it's fall, and that means pumpkin everything. Pumpkin lattes, pumpkin pie, pumpkin beer. So where do you find that perfect pumpkin? All this plus a look at weather and sports. OC News starts right now.
Good afternoon and welcome to OC News, Cal State Fullerton's student-produced news show covering local, national, and international news. I'm Shayna Vidal.
And I'm Cynthia Laliker.
Get out your orange and blue and get ready to show off your school spirit. There's a big game just hours away that could put Cal State Fullerton's men's soccer team in the history books.
We are just hours away from the team's attempt to make the playoffs. We go to sideline reporter Steve Granato, who's at Titan Stadium, with an update on today's matchup.
Thanks, guys. Cal State Fullerton men's soccer will take on Cal State Northridge here at Titan Stadium, 7 p.m. tonight. You can come to the game for free if you're a student with your Titan card. If not, you can follow on Twitter at CSUF men's soccer. But this is a pretty big matchup. The Titans have 5 games left this season, and they trail UC Irvine, which is in first place, by 4 points. So it's getting down to crunch time. Titans trying to make the Big West Conference title tournament for the first time since 2000. From Titan Stadium, I'm Steve Granato. Back to you.
Today in the studio we have Harpreet Bath, the ASI president of Cal State Fullerton. Kimberly Flores will be asking him questions about the Associated Students Incorporated, as well as asking him how students can get more involved.
Harpreet, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us here in Titan Studio.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So not a lot of students on campus are aware of the Associated Students Incorporated and what they do, what role they play in their everyday lives. Can you tell me a little bit about your role as president and what decisions you're faced with?
The biggest difference between your student government at a university and Associated Students Incorporated is the incorporated. Now, as president, I play 2 roles within the organization. As a student body president who's elected by a campus-wide election, I advocate on behalf of students at the local, university, and federal levels. And I also play the role of chief executive of a $15.5 million corporation with 70 student leaders and over 350 employees. So that's how it's a little complex versus other student governments, but that's how I play my role within the Associated Students.
That sounds great. So how do students get involved with ASI? Where do they start?
The best place to start would be our ASI Street Team. The Street Team gives them a 360-degree view of what ASI has to offer, from programming boards to advocacy to how they can get involved in campus governance by serving on committees that look at curriculum, in-class curriculum, to campus beautification. So that committee, the ASI Street Team, gives them an opportunity to understand what ASI is, and eventually gives them a shadowing program of shadowing current leaders into eventually applying for positions for the future years.
Well, that sounds like a great program. Our campus is kind of known as a commuter campus, and so students live completely different lives off of campus. What would you say is the importance of getting involved in ASI or any other student organization on campus?
It's very important. It's your college experience. A lot of times people come to college expecting to have this amazing experience, but it's somewhat lost when you're being a commuter student, when you're going to class and just going home. I can speak for myself. In my first year at Cal State Fullerton, I rarely ever joined any clubs or organizations, or even stayed a second over after my class ended. And from that up until now, getting involved on campus has changed my life drastically in terms of my experience, in terms of what I've been able to learn. So I highly encourage students to get involved. I know it's a daunting task. We have competing responsibilities, but joining a club, minimal responsibilities, minimal dedication can get them and actually help improve their college experience.
Yeah, thank you for the advice. So there's been some talks that the Titan Student Union is going to be renovated. There's a little bit of controversy since our tuition keeps going up every semester, and students are kind of concerned about where the money is coming from and whether this is actually a good use of the money. Do you support this project, and if so, why do you think it's important that we move forward with this renovation project?
I think the number one important thing about this project is that it's not increasing student fees. It's a $20 million cash expansion, and this funding has been saved up by student leaders for the past 5, 6, 7 years. So we're not increasing student fees. The other thing is the ASI can't contribute to state buildings or classroom enhancement or any of those aspects because the fee is specifically only provided for AS. So now we're impacting our student experience the best way we can by expanding our resources. The current union size is only fit for a 25,000 student population, and our current population, as you're well aware, is over 38,000. This renovation will allow more study spaces, more office spaces for students, more meeting spaces for students, and we always give students a priority when it comes to reserving spots in the union.
Well, thank you so much for clearing that up. I know some students have been talking about it in my political science classes, so I really appreciate it. Lastly, what advice do you have for students that you want to communicate with them? You've had a few years to kind of learn the ropes and get acquainted with this institution. What advice do you have for students who still have some time left on campus?
Definitely take advantage of your opportunities on campus, and many times we categorize them as just getting involved, joining a club, or doing things on campus. It can be getting jobs on campus, off campus, internships, study abroad. Find your niche. What makes you happy? What expands your experience beyond just going to class, and get after it. At Cal State Fullerton, we have amazing opportunities available for students beyond just getting involved, with study abroad and other programs. Take advantage of them and come to ASI if you're ever lost, and we would guide you the right way. And really just have a great experience, an experience that's led by you, a Titan experience that you can look back and say, hey, you know what? I had a great time at Cal State Fullerton.
That's some wonderful advice. Well, thank you again for joining us here in Titan Studio. It's been great.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. A Southern California nonprofit organization called All from the Heart raises donations for military families during the holiday season. Here's Christina Razvan with the story.
Imagine this. It's a sunny day in Temecula and you're riding up in your new Harley-Davidson motorcycle, but it's more than just a joyride. It's a chance to donate and raise funds for our U.S. troops and families to have a memorable Christmas this year.
All from the Heart is the 501c3 that is the umbrella. Underneath All from the Heart is Support Our Troops, which is the event where we will be honoring active military families for their Christmas. And it's not a surprise. They know that we're going to spend $100 on every member of every family. That would include unborn children. We believe and know that when one member in the family serves, everyone is serving.
Over the past 11 years, All from the Heart has hosted the Support Our Troop event. Harley-Davidson, which partners with the nonprofit organization, has helped over 100 families each holiday season. To learn more, visit www.allfromtheheart.org. Feel free to stop by Harley-Davidson in Temecula December 6th to donate in support of our troops.
At around 10 a.m. this morning, the Canadian Parliament building and the National War Memorial in Ottawa came under fire when a gunman started firing at the Parliament Hill. Here is CNN with the story.
9:52 a.m. at Ottawa's National War Memorial, witnesses say a gunman walked up to a soldier standing guard and shot him before fleeing the scene. Moments later, gunfire erupts inside Canada's main Parliament building. Police officers fan out as lawmakers inside a caucus room try to protect themselves, piling up chairs in front of the door.
We've been told to keep all doors locked, lower blinds, stay away from windows, that there may still be a gunman on the street outside.
Canadian journalist inside Parliament watches it all unfold.
It appears that the gunfire broke out in the foyer, just at the entrance of that door, and moved down the hallway to the north towards the Library of Parliament. There was a second round of gunfire just in front of the Library of Parliament, and at that point I saw a body sort of slump down. Obviously I couldn't confirm, but it certainly looked lifeless.
A sergeant-at-arms shoots and kills the gunman. Parliament Hill goes on lockdown. 2 victims are rushed to the hospital. Panic ripples across the city of Ottawa as reports spread that other gunmen might still be on the loose. Heavily armed police escort people out of downtown buildings. Hours later, police confirm while there were shootings at the War Memorial in Parliament Hill, there was no shooting downtown. But authorities are still asking people to stay away as they continue to investigate.
We've set up a perimeter that prohibits individuals from going onto Parliament Hill, and there's an ongoing operation with the RCMP and our Auto Police Service to clear Parliament Hill to make sure that it is safe for everybody.
Coming up after the break, we have Sofia Guerrero with the weather and Alexandra Hernandez with entertainment.
Plus, a story about a local pumpkin patch that has been in Orange County since the 70s. We'll see you in a bit.
It's what powers our journey to reach unimaginable heights. It fosters a sense of yearning to create, explore, and soar. It strengthens our will to climb to the top. It's the bedrock of our conviction that nothing's impossible. It transforms us and sets us free to thrive and build lives of purpose. Titan pride is at the heart of who we are.
As October comes to an end, we have a brand new month with what we hope to be cool fall temperatures. Here's Sofia Guerrero with your forecast.
Good evening. Hope you are having a fantastic Wednesday. We have had great weather so far. Today we started out at 84 degrees with a low of 63. Wind speed was 11 miles per hour. Today the humidity is 43 degrees and there was a beautiful sunrise this morning, 7:03. Sunset tonight will be at 6:09. Let's go ahead and take it to national weather and see what's happening throughout the nation. So we're going to have Boston here in the low 50s, and then down here Florida is going to be low 80s. In the middle, we're going to have Oklahoma City, 78 degrees. And then in the far west, we have Seattle, 57 degrees. Let's take it on over to our 5-day forecast. It'll be staying mostly in the 80s for this week with lows in the 50s and 60s. Thursday through Saturday will be partly cloudy, but never fear, it's going to be perfect weather to go out to that pumpkin patch or maybe just go to get a pumpkin for maybe making some pie. I love pie. I love dessert, so that's what I'm going to do. So just know that it'll be fantastic weather. Hope to see you guys out there. And Cynthia and Shayna, back to you.
As the end of October approaches, pumpkin patches can be seen all around the city. One of those lots has been in Orange County since the 70s. I visited the pumpkin patch to find out what made it so special.
The pumpkin patch has been a family tradition since 1977. The owner and the wife met through the pumpkin patch years ago. The family eventually received the DBA for the title, the Pumpkin Patch, meaning no other patch can use that name. The Duncan family also owns a party planning company, but once a year they hold the Pumpkin Patch for local families and children to enjoy. With what started as just orange and white pumpkins has developed into memories between family and friends. The Pumpkin Patch builds memories with families who visit, but not only just to buy a pumpkin, but doing fun activities together, and some people even hang out for hours. Shayla, the daughter of the owner, now one of the managers, and also a world champion horseback rider, lends her personal pony to the patch every year for children to experience what may be their first pony ride. She shared with me some of her favorite things about working in the family business.
So every year on my birthday, I would have a birthday party here, and I guess that's kind of a special memory for me that I'll always hold close to my heart. I think my family benefits a lot because it brings us all closer together. We all live kind of far apart, and every year, once a year, we have a whole month where we're literally together constantly and we're never apart. Sometimes we butt heads, but I mean, in the end, it brings us a lot closer together.
With more pumpkin patches on the rise, the Duncan family pumpkin patch has evolved with a little competition to add some flair. They offer gold mining, tractor rides, pony rides, face painting, bouncy house jumping, a petting zoo, and obviously hundreds of unique pumpkins to choose from. Local families come all month to the pumpkin patch that is really geared for little children. Fathers like Steven brought his fiancée and 2 daughters.
She likes the pony ride because she's always wanted a horse, and she's really into those My Little Pony dolls, so I think she kind of like relates to that, and she just has a good time with it.
The family used to own 5 pumpkin patch lots at one time, but the Duncans are in it for the tradition more than the business.
For the 37th year, the pumpkin patch continues to bring families together and kick off the holiday season in the perfect way. Reporting for OC News, this is Shayna Vidal.
A beloved fashion icon passed away a couple days ago and has left quite the legacy. Here's Alexandria Hernandez with the story in this week's entertainment news.
The world is mourning the death of legendary fashion designer Oscar de la Renta. De la Renta De La Renta's family confirmed his death on Monday evening at his home in Connecticut. De La Renta spent 5 decades dressing high society, ranging from stateswomen to celebrities and fashionistas in between. Jackie Kennedy was one of the stateswomen that De La Renta dressed. More recently, De La Renta designed the wedding dress for George Clooney's wife, Amal, as you see there. De La Renta was born in the Dominican Republic 82 years ago. He has been the recipient of numerous Coty Awards and has definitely left a huge impact on the fashion society. He was diagnosed with cancer in 2006. After news of his cancer broke, De La Renta was asked by Miami's Ocean Drive magazine if he was finally ready to retire. De La Renta said, quote, "That is one word I literally loathe. It is a word that doesn't even enter my mind," end quote. But he happily announced last year that he was cancer-free. His creations have been a fixture on the red carpet and in the Oval Office. Many took to Twitter expressing their condolences. Taylor Swift said, quote, "My all-time favorite designer has passed away. Oscar, it was an honor to wear your creations and to know you. In loving memory." Jamie Lee Curtis added to the long list of celebrities sharing their condolences by saying, quote, "I've worn Oscar de la Renta's signature fragrance my whole adult life. It is like his design, life classic, soft, feminine, elegant. R.I.P." Talk of celebrities all wearing De La Renta to the Oscars in tribute to him has popped up on the internet, but a celebrity has yet to commit to the idea. Days before his death, his brand announced Peter Coping as his successor. De La Renta is survived by his son Moses De La Renta. Oscar De La Renta, thank you for your creative mind and beautiful work. You will be greatly missed but never forgotten. In other news, Renee Zellweger is in the hot seat after she appeared on the red carpet Monday at the Elle Magazine 21st Annual Women in Hollywood event. The actress looked so different that many questioned whether or not it was her. Here's a look at Zellweger, and to be completely honest, I wasn't sure if that was her or not either. Well, so if we're looking at that picture, it does look like there could have possibly been some work done to her, but Zellweger finally broke her piece today, stating, quote, "It seems that folks who come digging around for some nefarious truth, which doesn't exist, won't get off my porch until I answer the door," end quote. Zellweger chalks her new look up to healthier lifestyle. She said, quote, "My friends say that I look peaceful. I am healthy. For a long time, I wasn't doing such a good job with that," end quote. Well, Renee, Hollywood definitely isn't one to be judging you. We here from OC News commend you for your lifestyle change. Let's talk about the highlights. Highlighted performance last night on The Voice. Maybe you were tuned in. If you saw, Team Adam brought out 2 of his 4-chair turnarounds for a battle. Beth Sprengler and Mia Furman duked it out over the Christina Aguilera song, "I Turn to You." Whew, that's a tough one. Anyone want to hear me take a whack at that? Didn't think so. Let's leave that to Mia. After the powerful performance, Blake and Gwen were leaning towards Mia, while Pharrell argued that Beth gave the better performance. Adam had a few seconds to rack his brain when he finally decided that Mia was the winner. Teams are now preparing for the knockout round. Next week, artists will be prepared to be eliminated, but this time they get to choose their song and they get to perform it solo. Things are getting pretty serious. But wait, did you know Mia is a Southern California native? Temple City to be exact. She is this 19-year-old from a musically inclined family and has big dreams to make it big. Nice to know SoCal is being well represented. Good luck to Mia this year on The Voice. Tune in on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. to NBC and go on Root on the SoCal Girl. In other music news, the World Series rivalry is playing out over the airwaves, or in some cases, not playing out at all. Two San Francisco-based radio stations have banned Lord's 2013 hit song Royals from their playlist because of the connection to the American League Championship Kansas City Royals. As we know, the Giants played the Royals last night and were victorious. The song was banned by 96.5 KOIT, with program director Brian Figula writing on Friday, "Our listeners told us to do it, so we did it." He went on to add that the song will not be played until the end of the World Series. KFOG station made a similar gesture. An employee wrote on Facebook, "I hope Lord understands what we're doing. We are taking this very seriously, the World Series. For goodness sakes, San Francisco Giants are in the World Series." Let's see. On game days, the Kansas City Royals, in rebuttal to what's going on up in San Francisco, are playing the song Hour on the Hour. Could you imagine that? So let's see here. With Halloween right around the corner, parents, you're wondering what to do with your child out and about and wondering what movies to let them watch. So off the charts, we don't want Freddy, Cougar, or Chucky. So those are three names we definitely don't want to have our children dreaming about. But with Halloween right around the corner, kids want to watch movies that coincide with the holiday. So with the 31st quickly approaching, I've made a list of the movies that the entire family can watch scare-free. At the top of my list, you'll see there, it's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, absolutely adorable movie. Parents, you remember watching it as a kid too. Next up is Casper, the story of the friendly ghost. You can't go wrong with that. Hocus Pocus is another friendly movie. Moms, if you're a Sex and the City fan, you'll be happy to see your girl Sarah Jessica Parker in quite the change of role. Next, I have The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's one of Tim Burton's masterpieces. And the whole... and the whole theme surrounded by Disneyland is Nightmare Before Christmas, so your kids will be excited to learn about that. You can also make it a sing-along and do some karaoke in the living room. And lastly, one of my favorite, The Addams Family. Gather the kids around and show them a movie that you grew up watching. And that's all I have for you today here in Entertainment News. Ladies, back to you.
When we come back, we have Michael Sandoval from Muse with an exclusive studio interview.
Stick around for more OC News.
The men's rugby team hopes to make a statement.
This study abroad program includes a 4-day trip to Rome.
Welcome to Cal State Fullerton Report.
OC News starts right now.
With President Obama.
OC News has teamed up with Muse. We have Sofia Guerrero in the studio with a live interview with the founder and executive editor of the company.
Yes, this was the first year that OC News is partnering up with Muse, a digital media production, to share footage and information on events happening in our area. Here with us today is Michael Sandoval, the founder and executive editor of the company. Mike, thanks for being here today.
All right, thank you. It's nice to be back home.
Good. Get back home. Can you explain more about that?
I graduated from Cal State Fullerton back in 2012, finished 2000, graduated 2001.
And what was your major?
Communications, journalism.
Okay. So you're coming back, maybe to just give back to the school?
Yes, actually, I wanted to give students the opportunity that maybe I didn't have when I was here. I had a lot of great opportunities that I had to create myself, and this is a way for the students to be able to have an opportunity to really interview some big name celebrities, big name stars, get some great packages and great opportunity that they may not get from other places.
Okay, so can you tell us how Muse got started and what your vision for the company was?
Well, Muse got started in pretty much after I was working for the Los Angeles Sparks in 2010, I decided after looking at what news was like in the web that we needed to do things differently and build something where more journalistic pros were being involved into the entertainment and sports side. So that's when I came up with Muse, came up with the idea of bringing in what I learned in sports. Since everybody in sports had a muse, entertainment had muse, artists have muses, so we decided to, and that's how the name came up for Music Unity Sports Entertainment.
Right, that's what I was going to ask. MUSE, Music Unity Sports Entertainment. So what are some events that Muse has covered so far?
Muse has covered the last 3 events, Warped Tours. We have done work with Foo Fighters in the past. We're actually going to go check out Foo Fighters this weekend at Life is Beautiful in Las Vegas. They're going to be playing this Sunday, playing their brand new album from front to back, so we're looking forward to that. We've done red carpets for Alexander, Lone Ranger. We do a lot of work with Disney, and we're actually expanding because we have a brand new show that's coming out, premiering this Friday on Muse Video HD.
Nice. What's the title of that show?
That's Chick Flick Fridays, and it's
Chick
pretty much
Flick
a female point of view, female movie show. Pretty much talking about all the movies that are out there right now.
That sounds really fun. That's something I want to tune into. So how did this partnership with Cal State Fullerton come about?
I pretty much reached out to Cal State Fullerton. I talked to the people here about trying to build something that was unique. We are a web-based television broadcasting company, and I wanted to do something where it was something that the students would be able to be involved as much as possible. And when I gave them the business proposal of what we're looking at doing and what the partnership would entail, it worked out for both sides.
Good.
And since then, it's been, we've had our bumps, but it is a brand new program, so we're going to take our time and we're going to develop it something hopefully in 5 years where it becomes one of the leading college partnerships in the United States.
Right. Everything starts out kind of rough at the beginning. Just work hard and keep going for hopefully what we want to come true. So on that, where do you see Muse going? Where do you want it to go in the next maybe 5-10 years?
5-10 years. Muse is where we have planned for 5 years, or we want to branch out to New York. We want to have a Muse offset site on every major city around the United States and London. We do have a very good fan base in London, so we would definitely want to go out there, go to Europe, and really build something.
That'd be really fun, all the way in Europe. That'd be great. A huge expansion. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
No problem. Thank you.
Remember to follow Muse on all the social media, including Instagram and Facebook at SoCal Muse, and subscribe on YouTube as well, SoCal Muse. It's MUSE, and we hope to get more subscribers for them. Back to you, Shayna and Cynthia.
Thank you, Sophia. Stick around after the break for sports with Colin Lee.
Plus, the story about a local Rocktoberfest event from the Women's Club of Fullerton.
Titan Radio is Cal State Fullerton's own radio station located in the basement of Pollock Library. Students can stop by and pick up an application during our operating hours. Anyone who has a computer and internet can listen to us www.titanradio.org. A lot of people who want to pursue TV and film usually start out in radio, so it's always a great opportunity.
After a huge start to the week in sports, we have our own Colin Yee with more information about Titan athletics. Game 1 of the World Series and Peyton Manning breaking the record for most all-time passing touchdowns. Here's Colin.
It's been a crazy week in the world of sports, but let's take a look at how Titan soccer has been doing. Another winning streak ended for the men's soccer team, and they fell to the nationally ranked UCI Anteaters Zot in a closely contested matchup. The Anteaters' Brian Breslin broke the tie in the 71st minute in the second half, and that was all the Anteaters needed as they won 1-0. The Titans could only muster 4 shots on goal, and they're now 7-6-2 and 2-3 in conference play. As Steve Granado mentioned earlier, they have a big game here against Cal State Northridge, playoff implications tonight at Titan Stadium. The women had success against Cal State Northridge, and they stayed undefeated in conference play. No team scored until the 56th minute when who else but Rebecca Wilson snapped the tie with her 8th goal of the season, as the Lady Titans have not lost since September 28th. That was against San Diego. They look to continue their success against Irvine on Thursday. Women's volleyball has struggled this season, but last Friday they snapped their 7th game losing streak, taking down UC Riverside 3-1. Libero McKenna Payton finished with her 4th straight double-double, and freshman standout Nikki Withers finished with 14 kills to lead the Titans to their first conference win. Titans look to keep rolling as they take on UCI on Friday. Let's take a look at Game 1 of the Fall Classic. Royals fans pumped up for their first World Series in 29 years. Hunter Pence, he quickly quiets down the crowd with a 2-run homer, just missing the H&R block sign, giving the Giants an early 3-0 lead. And hey, that was all Madison Bumgarner would need, as he was lights out, playing defense, doing everything. He went 7 innings, giving up a run on 3 hits with 5 strikeouts. Bumgarner in the World Series is now 3-0 with a 0.41 ERA and 19 strikeouts. Folks, that's pure dominance. Game 2 is currently underway in Kansas City. Giants up 1-0. Royals are sending out their young flamethrower, Yordano Ventura, and the Giants are countering with Jake Peavy on the bump. History was made on Sunday night as Peyton Manning broke Brett Favre's touchdown record. Manning threw number 509 to Demaryius Thomas with 3:09 left in the first half, putting the Broncos up 21-3 over the Niners. Manning finished with 4 touchdowns, bringing his career total to 510, and the Broncos trounced the Niners, beating them 42-17. Manning won't have to worry about his record for now, as he is currently 135 touchdowns ahead of the next active quarterback, Drew Brees, who has 374 touchdowns. But who knows, like Brett Favre said, records are meant to be broken. And how about those San Diego Superchargers? And they didn't look too super as they fell to Kansas City 23-20 on a field goal by Cairo Santos with 21 seconds left in the game. And Phillip Rivers, he's been an MVP candidate early this year. He had a mediocre game, completing 17 of 31 passes for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now his counterpart, Alex Smith, he wasn't that impressive either, as he threw for 21 yards and a touchdown. But the highlight of both offenses was Chiefs running back Jamal Charles. He had 95 yards on 22 carries and a touchdown. And Chargers, it doesn't get any easier for them as they have to face Peyton Manning and the Broncos for Thursday night football. The Kings and Ducks both took to the ice on Sunday. Now the Kings got their 4th straight win, beating the Minnesota Wild 2-1. And hey, it wasn't an easy victory as the Wild bombarded Jonathan Quick with 41 shots on goal. Quick made a fantastic save now with 27 seconds left in the game to preserve the victory. And goals from Tyler Toffoli and Tanner Pearson helped the Kings move to 4-1-1. The Kings faced the Buffalo Sabres Thursday night at the Staples Center. And the Anaheim Ducks continue to play great hockey as goalie Freddie Anderson recorded his first career shutout as the Ducks beat the Blues 3-0. Anderson joined former Boston goalie Ross Brooks as the only 2 goalies in NHL history to win 25 of their first 30 starts. The Ducks' Sami Vatanen scored 2 power play goals, and the Ducks improved to 5-1. The Ducks played the Buffalo Sabres tonight at the Honda Center, and hey, it might be a tough road trip in Southern California for the Sabres. That's all for sports. Back to you guys.
The Women's Club of Fullerton hosted the Rocktoberfest this past weekend. The event was held in an effort to raise money that will benefit the Woodcrest Park project. And here's Patrick Bates with the story.
Every year, the Women's Club of Fullerton chooses one charity and one project to raise funds for. This year, the club chose the Coast to Coast Foundation and the Woodcrest Park Project, an initiative to revitalize this disadvantaged part of Fullerton. And with their biggest event of the year thus far, they were able to do so by putting on the Fullerton Rocktoberfest at the Muckenthaler Cultural Center this past Sunday. Fullerton's Rocktoberfest, a free event put on by the Women's Club of Fullerton every year, is designed to raise money for the more disadvantaged parts of Fullerton. This event holds everything from food and drinks to live music and a raffle. With over 60 vendors, donation drives, live bands, and lots of food, the Women's Club of Fullerton were able to add to their Woodcrest project. The event was free and had a large turnout with lots of donations and participation.
And the event kind of came about because Popular Bank, Community Bank in Fullerton, gave us the use of this venue for free, and so they donated it to us, and I just had a brainstorm of what can be done here. My mind just kind of went to work, and I always wanted to do something that would involve the whole community.
The nonprofit organization had been serving Fullerton since 1902 and in 2007 revamped the organization.
Yes, this is probably the biggest event that we've done, but yes, we've helped Critterton Services for Children, we've helped WTLC, we've helped Pathways of Hope, and I could just go on of different charities.
With multiple events and fundraisers per month, the organization has found a multitude of ways to contribute to their goal of uniting women and serving the community of Fullerton.
To keep up with the latest local news, check our social media outlets on Twitter at OC News Cal State Fullerton, our Instagram OC News Cal State Fullerton, hashtag OC News Cal State Fullerton, hashtag.
I know that I am following those already on my phone.
Yeah.
Are you on them?
No, not yet, but I will tonight.
Get on that, Cynthia. That is all for tonight. Have a wonderful evening. For OC News, I'm Shayna Vidal.
And I'm Cynthia Laliker. See you next